Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. We got another good ride for you. Another good local group ride. This is going to be the cow ride out of Incycle in Chino Hills. You've seen the bagel ride and stuff like that, but Incycle has a variety of rides that they do. Basically, every Incycle has kind of like their own unique rides. And this is the ride out of Chino, the Incycle in Chino. It's called the cow ride. So it's kind of small group. We leave from the in cycle at about roughly 8 a.m. And then you take out, you kind of ride through the city and then you go out to the country to where there's some nice country roads, rolling hills. Very good group. And, it was a pretty good ride. We had a small group to start off with. There's some people that are going to join us later. And I think overall there was somewhere around, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 at the most people. Yeah, so I got a couple of the team out here with me. Is me, Marlena, Ellen, and Chris Mang. We kind of came out to do this ride. Wanted to do it the week before where they had they introduced a new route, had some, what do you call it? Like basically some bonus money on the line for some of the sprints. And, this is our first time doing this ride. So I don't want to say exactly how it is, but the way it rode today, we kind of did it more like it was more of like a sprint workout. It's pretty chill in between some of the efforts, and then there's some rolling hills where it's a decent effort. I don't know, maybe only like a 5 minute effort or so, but a lot of the efforts were some kind of like sprint lead out type work. So it's kind of fun though. It's very fun. It's kind of relaxing. It's a short ride. We only did 25 miles on this loop that we did. You can see the map up in the left hand corner there. And I believe this is the new route. I don't know what the old route used to look like, but they just changed this route last week, I believe. It's pretty good too. Like there's not too much traffic. I mean, we're on some busy streets right now. This is kind of like the not a main street, but we're on some busy streets right now, but it does get out into like the middle of nowhere a little bit and you kind of roll through the countryside. This is going to be like the first hard effort here. Um, They don't have the hammer down yet, but it's going to be the first hard effort on this uphill, kind of like some rolling hills here. It's kind of hard. I understand, like when you go out and do a ride for the first time and you don't know where the efforts kind of start, where they end, how hard they are, all that kind of stuff. So we kind of rode the ride kind of cautiously. You can see Alex up there going up to the front now. Alex and Edgar. Yeah, and I see this first effort gets kind of steep. You can see we're putting in like a decent amount of watts here, over 400 watts, high 300s. There's Chris going by. Ellen's kind of falling back a little bit. But if you could see the horizon up there, I thought that was like the end of the effort. I thought it was just going to be like this little climb here. Also, my heart rate is off. And I don't know if like my heart was really off. It did feel a little bit weird, but I think really the monitor just maybe wasn't registering correctly. Usually, when the monitor is not registering correctly, it means that I'm having like not necessarily like out of rhythm or anything, but it usually is like I have like a weak heartbeat. And anytime I see that, I just start taking it easy a little bit since I have the AFib issue. I'll say overall, though, this is a very fun ride. I'd like to bring the team out again when we have more numbers. I think it'd be a very fun and competitive ride. When you have more people out. It's the holidays right now, so the numbers are a little bit low. Yeah, so I expected this to be kind of the end of the climb here. And you can see, like, when we start the downhill, like, the group is gone. They're still smashing. And I definitely didn't expect them to be gone from here. I thought they'd just be like right in front of us, like they were a couple minutes ago. Yeah, you could barely see them going over this next hill here. Yeah, I think they have some pretty good sprint segments on this ride as well. That's why I say like I think it ends up being like more of kind of like a sprint type workout. There's some incline. The road does go up a little bit. They're pretty much fast like power climbs, but still, it's a good workout. It just depends on how hard you want to go. Kind of like all the Incycle rides that I'm aware of. This is for the most part, it's a no drop ride. You can see during the hard efforts, yes, you can get dropped, but they always regroup at the end of every hard effort, just like the bagel ride does. Um, I kind of like that. It's a refreshing change up a little bit from some of the just regular cutthroat rides, because this type of ride you can bring anybody out on. Some of the newer riders and some experienced riders. Obviously, they got to be comfortable with handling their bike and riding in a group, stuff like that. But you don't have to worry about everyone being different speeds, because they're going to regroup at the end of the hard efforts and everyone can kind of enjoy the day and ride together. I think that's very important. Sometimes people get caught up in just thinking that they have to go so hard all the time. Um, and it's kind of hard to bring new people or newer people or slower people into the cycling community if you're just going to drop them in the first 5 minutes and never see them again. I'm kind of in no man's land here, just solo riding by myself. The first group's way too far in front of me, and the people behind me are a little bit further back. So it says it's 55 degrees too, but it actually wasn't that cold. It felt fairly warm with the sun out. So yeah, here is just a little regroup spot. I thought not knowing the route, I thought the group was going to keep going, but they're basically just flipping the U-turn here. So yeah, that's kind of like the first section or the first segment, hard effort. It goes over those rolling hills there. I think the next section is really fun, super fast downhill, like a windy road. Yeah, so from here, this section that's just starting here is a really fun section. Even though you're kind of in the city of Chino here, you kind of feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. I think there's a golf course to the right, but with all these trees and everything, just you can't really see too much of the concrete, too much of the houses. Even though there's houses to the left, it just gives you a feel like you're just out on a back country road, as you can tell by the cows and stuff to the right. That's Marlena in front of me. Marlena was pretty competitive, had a good ride this ride here. riding on tired legs, but she was still able to, pretty much stay near the front of the race. I mean, of the ride. Yeah, you can tell this is definitely a nice, fast road if you wanted to like smash through here. And surprisingly, being that this road's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, it actually really good pavement. I think that's one of the spots where more people joined the ride. There was no one there, so obviously we just kept rolling. Looks like Edgar has the hammer down at the front up there. It's another little fun, fast section. Here's where I was saying there's a golf course to the right. I want to say it's Los Serranos. A little wobble there on the outside. Not sure if he was just trying to avoid that manhole. Still got guys powering over the hill. I think Edgar, yeah, Edgar has the hammer down up front. Edgar's gotten really strong too. He's always been strong, but just with his strength, he's lost a lot of weight now as well. So now he enjoys climbing as well. Last time I talked to him, said he's just been doing a lot of climbing. He enjoys the climbing. He's looking good out there, and is obviously very strong. Yeah, so this is definitely a good ride. It's a little different. I was a little shocked that it wasn't. It was only like an hour and a half ride or something, like 25 miles. Obviously, we drove there, but next time I might just ride it from the house, and it'd be about probably be a little under 60 miles, 55, 57 miles, something like that. So definitely a ride I can just ride from the house and go ahead and do this route and then ride back, kind of cruise back if I wanted to add some miles to it. But it's also good that you can just get out at 8 o'clock and be done before 10, especially when you're pushing the pace and have a hard effort. A good 1 hour, 1.5 hour hard effort is a good ride to have every so often as well. And there's actually like a lot of speed on this. There's a lot of speed on this route. A lot of it's flat, and with the rolling hills, you end up picking up a lot of speed on some of the downhills of the rolling hills. Just kind of all of this area is pretty rolling, like through Chino Hills, all that part of Southern California is just filled with a lot of good rollers. You guys have seen my ride, the Carbon Canyon route that I do. This is just around the corner from there as well. So here's another like pretty long drag. You know, it's a long incline that leads to another sprint segment. So I think it's Andy to my left was telling me about the sprint, and I'm gonna get it all wrong. I'm gonna botch the sprint. He was telling me that there's like he told me that there's gonna be this long drag up the hill, then we kind of curve to the left, I think it is, and he said there's gonna be a sign on a pole that says bike path, and the sprint starts from there. So I'm gonna get it wrong. I'll explain it when it comes to it, but yeah, it was the wrong bike path sign. You can see Edgar up front on the left up there, once again putting the hammer down. Got some good speed going up the hill. We're in the draft here doing 300, so I'm guessing he's probably doing just about 400. Looks like I'm starting to fall back a little. Kind of move up the right side here. Good thing is when you're going this fast, it doesn't matter if it's uphill or not. The draft is still pretty significant at 22 miles per hour. Again, just a beautiful ride, beautiful day. The weather is pretty good. Yeah, definitely this is kind of like a good simulation here of kind of like the end of a race. When you got this long uphill drag here, kind of tax the legs a little bit, before the sprint. Like I said, with these rolling hills, you end up getting some pretty good speed, Like I said, 22 miles per hour uphill, 30 miles per hour downhill. Yeah, so we're coming up on the sprint section. See the guy in gray go up to the left. And then I see them kind of ramping up here, and then I see that sign right there said bike path, so I thought that was the sprint. I saw everybody kind of ramping up, so I kind of launched a little sprint here, trying to move up, get in the draft. And yeah, then the sprint is starting here. Alex starts the sprint, and I kind of don't have anything left in the legs just because I sprinted a little bit early. I should have stayed in the draft a little longer. Just didn't have anything for him. It's a good sprint by Alex there too. I think he, like he said, he was trying to get some 1 minute efforts in, and that was a pretty good, like at least 30-second sprint. If I were to count it, it might have only been 15, but when you're sprinting, every second seems like a minute. So yeah, I definitely had the wrong bike path sign, and then when I looked, there's like a bike path sign on every pole. So it's like, yeah, which sign was it? So right now the group is pretty shattered. On the long drag uphill, it got kind of stretched out. So there's a couple people that kind of fell off the back. So yeah, right up here by this freeway overpath, we'll just kind of pull over and wait for the rest of the group. Like I said, it's a competitive ride, but in the end, it's basically a no drop ride. And anytime there's a really hard effort, you kind of sit for a couple minutes, just like a minute or two until everybody's there. As soon as everybody's there, you just take off. It's not a rest period, it's just a regroup and then keep going. So here they turned down Pine. We're kind of like on our way back from, you know, the second half of the loop here. And this is the same thing. It's like another really long drag that ends in another sprint effort. Basically, like every effort on this ride kind of simulates like the last couple laps of a race. Yeah, like I said, it would be fun. Get the team out here and kind of do this ride again. Yeah, I was looking forward to this sprint. As you can see, I got the last one completely wrong. So now I was just thinking, I don't know why I jumped out there a little early anyway, not knowing the route or where anything's at. So this time I just thought, okay, I'm going to sit in and definitely not be the first to go. You know, I'll try to be like fifth wheel or something and go. Yeah, and I think these golf course here, I think this might be El Prado, if I'm not mistaken. We might be going between the El Prado courses, maybe the Butterfield course. See them ramping it up a little bit up this hill, and then it's pretty much a really long drag. They're just getting the speed high. Once again, that's Edgar on the right trying to pound, pushing the pace a little bit. You see Marlena going around to the front here. Yeah, Marlena was strong. You know, she's always been strong, but she's looking really strong even though she's on tired legs. Nice little 90-degree right-hander here. Yeah, so this drag here, we still got another like mile and a half or something before the sprint starts. You see, they're going pretty hard though. It's definitely a long, hard effort. I see Alex didn't go here, so I just kind of sat behind him for a second. Like I said, I didn't want to go too early like I did last time. Now Alex puts in a little dig trying to run down the guys up front. That's Chris there. Oh, you know what? I saw Alex just flicked an elbow the day we were riding. I never even saw him flick. I never knew he flicked an elbow at all. I saw him look back at me, but I didn't know if he was just checking where everybody's at or what. But I never saw him flick the elbow. He probably thought I just didn't want to pull through or something. But yeah, I never actually realized that he flicked an elbow there. Yeah, so like I said, this drag has been really long. Pace is pretty good. Definitely putting in the effort. Like I said, I'm sitting fourth wheel doing 380, 400 watts. So it's definitely fast, and we're kind of into a little bit of a headwind here. It's not too stiff. Like the wind wasn't that bad, but it's also slightly uphill. So you got a little false flat. There goes Edgar again. When Edgar goes by, like he doesn't really contest the sprint that often. But he does lead out a lot. He likes to be the lead out. So just as a FYI to myself, when I see him go up front, I should know he's actually just picking up the pace for the lead out. He's not actually trying to sprint or drop anyone. He's actually just trying to pull the group, get the speed up high, and start the lead out for everyone, which is awesome. It's always good to have someone that's willing to do that and get the pace high for everyone. So I'm sitting pretty like I thought in like fifth wheel here. Unfortunately, we catch this red light. And the sprint is like just after the red light. It starts a little bit, I don't know, maybe like a half a mile after this red light here. Yeah, so unfortunately here, I'm up here dragging my feet and get a slow start here. And you see they got the pace up high on the front again already. And excuse me. And I'm kind of just dragging way back here and kind of just burn out a little bit. Like I know it's not that hard of an effort. I should have jumped on Chris right there as he goes by. And I kind of miss out on being able to participate in this sprint. Just was feeling tired anyway, kind of dead legs, and got a little jump. Like they're not that far in front of me. I could just accelerate and get on there, but not again. I thought the sprint was starting already, and I just kind of chill and sit back. But actually, it wasn't starting yet. The sprint's actually still another, half mile up or whatever. I guess there's like a purple, I don't know, a purple like jug canister or whatever it is, some type of like equipment on the right side of the road, and that's where the sprint. I don't know if the sprint starts there or ends there. But either way it goes, I was a little too far back and just kind of sat up. And again, that heart rate is not correct. If it is correct, I was having an issue. And I don't really know because I did feel like my heart was a little bit tired, but it was in rhythm, so didn't really pay too much attention to it other than I just know it's not. If it's beating at 134, that's an issue for me. It should be, 170 or so, 160s right now. So yeah, I think that's the purple equipment right there, like that little electric box or whatever it is. So I don't know if the sprint starts there or ends there. I'm guessing maybe it ends there because the road looks like it gets kind of, it's kind of on a curve here and hits the light. So I'm guessing the sprint ends at that purple jug. Yeah, so for the most part, that's kind of the cow ride for the most part. I cut a lot of pieces out, but those pieces are just kind of cruising down, like some main streets, just getting to the countryside there, and then you just basically return to the Incycle shop, and that's about it. So anyway, it's a good ride. I think it was a good change of pace. Definitely a good like sprint route. If you want to work on some hard like 1, 2, 3 minute efforts, I think this is a great ride for you. Definitely great for some like team lead outs and stuff as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.